Hey guys, welcome back. It's Maverick here today with the grand finale of Shikimori-san. So, here we are in the last episode. Hopefully, we are going to be able to see some things, right? First of all, hey, it's actually a date with just Izumi and Shikimori, so we might get to see some actual, couple lovey-dovey stuff, right? That's number one. Number two, hopefully we will see a little bit more in regards to their past, how they eventually got to, having feelings for each other and so on and so forth. I mean, we know about the cultural festival event, right? But beyond that, or actually before that, like what happened to their relationship, right? And then lastly, as it is the last episode of the season, at least maybe, either hopefully a kiss, but if not, a very heartfelt hug. I think I'm kind of okay with it, but hopefully we will get a kiss, right? So with that in mind, let's get into the episode. All right, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, how does she look here in this final episode? Really? Wearing a shirt? Alright. She looks like an office lady, to be honest. Not exactly my choice for an amusement date part, but I mean, Shikimori-san can do what Shikimori-san wants, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks great. I'm just saying, she looks like she's going to work instead. I mean, typically, when you go to an amusement park, you'd want to dress in stuff that's cuter, I guess. But then again, last episode we just kind of saw, like, her past and all that. So, in a way, this might suit her even better? Although honestly, even going there in their uniforms would be great as well. Some people actually think that's pretty romantic. Going to going on a date in their uniforms. Like even after you, I don't. This might be something particular to like Asian cultures where we do have uniforms and whatnot, but it's actually like even after we graduate from high school, like once we're in college we don't really wear uniforms, right? But it's still kind of romantic to go on a date with your significant other to like an amusement park or something in your like previous uniforms. I've done that a few times myself as well. Like seriously, Shikimori, you don't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? It's because you're supposed to do these kinds of cute stuff, so. I mean, sure. So Izumi was the one who put it on in the end. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. You probably would have liked the original, like, from Rudder Tales, like the original version of the Sleeping Beauty and whatnot. I think that would have been a better line to say when she was doing something particularly cute. This is a very embarrassing thing, actually, to say right in front of your. Mm-hmm. Seriously, dude. Really? That's how it's gonna go? Something's going to. Yep. Hmm. Of course. But you wouldn't really think that a ride like that would take a waiting time of like 90, 180 minutes. Nope, here comes the PowerPoint slideshow. I'm still like kind of okay. Finally, they're acting a little bit more like a lovey-dovey couple, right? I still find it quite interesting at Shikimori's choice of outfit though, especially with that handbag. It really looks more like she's getting to work or something. Well, typically there would be some sort of like some way that they make up for it. Hmm? Oh, a high class table? Yeah, like I said, you would typically need to like do something to Well, that does look nice though. Start from the outside. Seriously, Izumi's like a girlfriend here. Yeah. Yeah, seriously. I think anybody, like any boyfriend would like I can feel like the secondhand embarrassment, but not because it's cringy or anything, but because it's like way too lovey-dovey, right? These two. But so where are you gonna do that at? Is Izumi go? I bet Izumi's going to. Yeah, he's going to. I think he's gonna misunderstand, right? Yeah, I can already see the ending here. Look at Shikimori. No, really? Okay, okay, that part. Wait, there's still a sunset right now? I thought it was already night. Or is this like just in? No, it looks like the sun has already set. What sunset? Come on, you guys been dating for over a year now. Alright, more of a night view, right? I mean, I think to be in line with this setting, so in the end, it's probably gonna have to be Shikimori that takes the lead for this, right? Oh, and so here's the incident for today. Wow, his bad luck extends to the entire park? Well then, lots of people are probably disappointed at this. I'm with you. You know, if you close the light right now, I bet you can actually see the stars or anything, or something like that. Yeah. Oh. And the light turns on. Why is it in this kind of position? Serious. So are you actually gonna do it or not? No. Man, they are being such a tease. Look at that face. We still have a bit of time before the end though, so how exactly? Wait, so everything's gone and done. Oh my god, seriously? He's suffering from embarrassment now, right? Oh, so he did actually kiss her cheek. All right. You guys are already in. You know, it's only on the cheek. Yeah. Yep. These two are like way too pure. Which means I think more like kindergartners. Yeah, as long as they're happy. Well, really? That's how we end here? Well, there is still a little bit at the end there, so. I'm not sure what exactly it is, so I guess we'll just, one last time for this, right? It's been a while since I've seen this, but still, just like the first day I saw it, I'm pretty impressed by the care and heart that went into it. Really, both the opening and the ending are really well done, all things considered, right? Like even the actual anime itself, the animation in the anime itself is really nothing to really write home about. But I thought the opening animation was done really good. Actually, all things considered, I would definitely say it's actually of higher quality than the actual anime itself, and that kind of goes for this ending as well. Well, at least from the creative standpoint, anyways. All right. Oh, so just like a new day of school, meeting. Okay, fine. This is how we started in the first episode, right? Woo! Damn. I mean, it's really just. I mean, as long as they're happy, as long as they're happy. See you guys after this. Well, I guess that is the end of that. So, in the end, we didn't really get to learn a little bit more about their past. We didn't really get to see them actually have a kiss or whatnot. But I'm on the latter part, I am kind of satisfied because at least in this episode, we see them more in a sort of like couple sort of setting, right? Which is more than we can say for how they are generally at school or whatnot. Really beyond, I think they've held hands for like 2 or 3 times before in previous episodes, and beyond that, you really can't get the feeling that these two are actually a couple here. So at least in this one, they acted much more like, they acted like a couple that's on a date, right? So I'm at least pleased by that. And the ending gondola scene and whatnot was kind of cute and all. Although definitely what I was expecting at the very end there was for Izumi to do all that, but then finally at the very end, Shikimori being the one to step up and take Izumi's lips, if you will. So kind of disappointed it didn't ultimately go with that, but I guess from a series perspective, this might still be pretty early on within the manga. So maybe the author just didn't really want to show that quickly, right? Even though, like I said, they're in the second year of high school now. They've been dating for over a year. I think it is like long overdue, to be completely honest. Like they're not in mid school or anything. They're in high school, and well, all right, it is what it is. Fine. Beyond that, though, like what else to talk about for this episode? So at the very least, right? I said that in this episode I'm looking for three different things. The latter two, the second part not really met. The third part kind of sort of met, and then the first part is obviously seeing them in a sort of in a more couple-like setting and doing some stuff that's like a couple-esque and whatnot. And so that part has at least been satisfied. So I guess that would be like 1.5 out of 3. Acceptable. Acceptable. Beyond that, we got to see Shikimori in yet another outfit, which is pretty cool, pretty neat. But like I said, I'm still kind of wondering, like, she definitely looks more dressed up for, I don't know, like for a job interview or going to the office or something rather than going to the amusement park. But I mean, it does definitely looks great on her. It's just that that definitely wouldn't have been I don't particularly think it's the sensible choice to wear when you're going to the amusement park, right? If you really wanted to be able to move around freely or whatnot, you probably wouldn't have worn a shirt. I can get not wearing a skirt, but you probably wouldn't really want to wear like a dress shirt or something of that sort. But I mean, it's Shikimori, right? She can do whatever she does. She's got a great body. She's got a great figure. She can wear whatever she wants, and it will look good. I'm just saying this is the more sensible thing to do. What she's wearing is not completely sensible. And like I said, I would have been perfectly fine if they instead wanted to go there in their high school uniforms. It's a pretty popular thing to do, especially in Japan as well, where you go on these sort of like uniform dates. Even after you graduate from high school or mid school, that's still a popular thing to kind of do. Even after you graduate, like trying to relive your high school memories and whatnot. It's kind of like a romantic thing in of itself. It's kind of hard to explain, but I also kind of get it. There are times when I've been on these sort of like, you can't really call it cosplay. I don't really consider it like a cosplay day or anything. It's just like people will wear the uniforms from their previous high schools or whatnot, and just pretend they're students and go around and go on a dates in these kind of places, right? It's fun. I think it really stems from, partially it stems from your college significant other or maybe even after college is not necessarily like you kind of want to know like how it feels if you guys were dating whilst in high school, right? It kind of gives that kind of feeling and that kind of nostalgic feeling, because after all, before high school and after high school, it represents a huge shift, right, in terms of mentality, especially more so in the East, where there's a clear difference between your life and how you generally your strict school life and whatnot, the circle of friends that you have, the area that you go towards and go into, that kind of thing. I mean, obviously it exists in all over the world as well, especially since most people go to colleges or universities that's not necessarily in their hometown and whatnot. But I think even more so, especially when you come from an Eastern mentality where all the education before high school, it's very strict, it's very rigid. You follow a set plan like every single day, and it is what it is, right? So it just has a different kind of feeling to it, and some people do want to relive it at least temporarily, right? I don't think anybody would really want to go back to high school or not, at least to do that kind of life. I definitely wouldn't want to. I mean, heck, where I went to, like, I kind of went to a private school, and I had to like get to school at like 7:30, and then I was there, and we have like after school, after classes are over, we have mandatory like like study time. So I was in there from 7:30 a.m. all the way till 9 p.m. All right, and that was my life. So definitely do not want to go. And I guess that is kind of also different as well. Like this is not the normal kind of life for most people, but because I went to a private school, so in any case, I am definitely not wanting to relive that kind of thing. But even so, like I have been, after I graduated from high school, I've also been on a few like sort of like uniform dates with my girlfriends and whatnot. So it's just a kind of universal thing. Okay, that's kind of going off on a tangent. I'm just saying, I would have been fine if they did that, but I guess they wanted to show Shikimori in yet another outfit, in yet another uniform, and it's. I can't blame them. I can't blame them. Alright, so in the end, right, this entire series, well, I guess in the end it still kind of sort of turned out into what I was worrying about, right? So I initially, when I heard about this series, I took a quick look through in the first 2 or 3 chapters of the Shikimori-san manga, and it definitely had the feeling to me that it was very formulaic, very repetitive, right? Once like the sort of spiel that's going on here, Shikimori being cool and cute at the same time, and all that, and Izumi's condition and so on and so forth, you kind of get the idea of what is going to happen from here on out, right? And it really does get a little bit repetitive when you can even tell, like, immediately, okay, they're wanting to do something, something's gonna happen to Izumi, Shikimori's gonna show up to save the day, and then we end this particular little mini episode or chapter or whatever it is. So I definitely feel like the parts which were most interesting to me were the ones where we had the Kamiya arc and whatnot, the Cultural Festival arc, where we got to see a little bit character development from other characters as well, and really go into like a situation which is not just Shikimori coming up and acting like a boss and like it's great, right? We know Shikimori's a great character, and don't get me wrong, I love Shikimori, but I just want them to break out from the repetitive formula that they've been going for, and so having things like that, or having the episode, heck, even the episode where Izumi carried Shikimori up to the shrine, right? Like that was also something quite nice as well. We get to see a slight reversal of the situation, if you will. Like I'm not saying Izumi has to act all manly and whatnot, right? I mean, it's in 2022. People can have whatever kind of role that they want in terms of relationship. If Shikimori's the one who's wearing the pants, so be it, right? And I have said before, right? To me, Izumi, even though a lot of people consider him like a useless character or whatnot, I actually don't think so. Compared to a lot of other like male main characters in romance series, I actually think Izumi is quite a decent one, all things considered, right? Like his sort of situation isn't really his fault. Obviously he acts kind of like indecisive and acts kind of shy and all that, but I think ultimately when push comes to shove, he knows when to step up. And he's proven that time and time again already, right? And like I said before, even though the sort of like, oh, he's yasashi, he's so kind and whatnot, that has been done like to death already, right? But in Izumi's case, I think it really works just because of the life that he's gone through so far, right? I think that's very, very important. Like, it's easy to act nice when you are living a life that's worry-free, all right? I think that's something that I want to make clear first. Like, a lot of times when you look at these animes and mangas and whatnot, where the main girl or girls fall in love with the main character, and you're just like, what part did I like about him, right? It's always the same. Like, he doesn't necessarily have good grades, he doesn't necessarily have good looks and whatnot, and in the end, it all boils down to yasashi. He's kind. And I'm just like, is that really such a redeeming factor? Like, are all the guys that you've met before so unkind? But in Izumi's case, it really works because being able to keep such a positive attitude, even with all the things that are happening around his life, that really speaks volumes to his, his mental attitude, right? So I actually don't dislike Izumi at all, in terms of being a main character. Obviously, I would love him to be a little bit more assertive in the relationship, in some ways, right? You can still allow Shikimori to take the lead or whatnot. But for instance, this last episode, right, the scene where he was about to he was about to give some reassurance to Shikimori, right? Like the fact that he realizes that that's what he needs to do and he didn't, that already speaks volumes as to his character. Now, if he were able to, not chicken out and actually kiss Shikimori on the lips, that would have been like 100 points in my book. As it stands, that was like maybe 85. All right, so did great, but still could have been a lot better. So ultimately, I guess it's just an interesting little anime here, little manga here. I'm still like, there's still a lot of things that I wish they could have done, right? I wish they could have delved a little bit more into their past. I wish they could have acted a little bit more like a couple towards each other. I actually wish we could have had a little bit more time with just the two of them as well. Like, I understand they're trying to go through this 5-person like group of friends dynamic here, and don't get me wrong, I do think that's important as well, especially for a series like this where the main characters are already in a relationship, in a confirmed relationship. You gotta develop the side characters in order to keep the series going. But beyond that, like, that's I think that is the sort of like awkward thing about this. Like, typically in a romance work, you get to see like the development of feelings between the main characters, right? Between the main girl and the main guy, and you get to see like the courtship process, the flirting process and all that, until ultimately they are together. But here, they kind of like are already a couple, but then not quite that yet. So it just leads to some very I wouldn't really call it interesting, very weird dynamics, I guess you could say, in regards to the entire story. That, I think that doesn't necessarily benefit anyone. Some people might think it's a little bit too slow. Some people might think it's a little bit too boring. Some people think like it's a little bit too off topic. And honestly, I would be kind of inclined to agree as well, right? I wouldn't really say that this is a great work or a great kind of setting or a great story by any means. And really, let's be honest here, half the show is carried by Shikimori and her reactions, her voices, her outfits, and her coolness and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, she is absolutely a fantastic character. In fact, I think she kind of like won some award for being the most popular female character of this season or something of that. I distinctly recall glossing over some sort of article. I'm not sure like what kind of award it is. Is it like Japanese or Western or whatnot? But some kind of award, right? I mean, those are a dime a dozen. I don't typically pay too much attention to that. But honestly, I was kind of surprised that she won against like Yoru from Spy Family and Kaguya from Kaguya-sama, right? You would have thought that one of those two would have won this thing. So I guess congrats to Shikimori, right? And I definitely feel that she's a great, like, no, everybody would be would have no problems of having her as a girlfriend, right? So yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, so I think that's pretty much it for this. I don't really expect there to be a second season. In fact, I'm still quite curious, like, how exactly the author is continuing the manga, like what kind of developments he's doing, how is he keeping the reader's interest and whatnot. I don't know, maybe I'll go check it out sometime in the future, maybe not, but in any case, thank you guys for coming along, and, hopefully you guys can go check out some of my other stuff, some of my other works, and if not, well, hopefully I will have the chance to see you guys in the future as well. Until then, this has been Maverick from Musings Maverick. Thank you guys, I'll see you guys next time.